Well, guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bummed. I need to share something with you guys. And I told you I'd always be honest with you and transparent. And so I think it's time to kind of reveal something I've been keeping to myself and holding back. This coffee that I'm always drinking is decaf. I'm sorry I haven't told you that sooner, but it is. And I kind of feel like a fraud for having a video series called Coffee with Chris, and I drink decaf coffee. I hope you guys can look past this and we can keep moving forward. All right, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris. And that was something funny my wife pointed out to me the other day is that, I actually drink decaf coffee. And the reason why I drink decaf coffee is not really out of choice, out of necessity. The older I've gotten, I've developed acid reflux and some other things that we get as we get older. And caffeinated coffee kills me. And so a year-ish so ago, year and a half ago, I had to switch to decaf and fixed a lot of my issues by going that way. And if I'm ever out and about and I actually have a couple cups of regular caffeinated coffee, man, I've got to take medicine that night and bothers me for a few days. So I do in fact drink decaf coffee, guys. And sorry if, that ruined your opinion of me on a show called Coffee with Chris, but it is what it is. Anyways, man, I want to say thank you for joining me again. And we have had an exciting week here at our house and on the channel, our channel More Than Sawdust. As some of you may know, if you've seen the post, we did reach the goal this week. I think it was on maybe Tuesday. I got notified from YouTube that we had reached our hours watched goal. We've been at the subscriber goal for quite a while. And so we are eligible to be monetized now and have started that process. So they said it could take up to 30 days to get the approval and whatever they do to review your channel or whatever it is. Ours happened in 24 hours in one day. So we're already in that process now. We've already are able to earn a little bit on the videos at this point. So super excited about that. And I've said it before. I've said it several videos. I said it last week several times. I can't say thank you enough to those of you that watch all the time, that have checked out all the videos. Some of you have been with the channel since maybe the first video or the first few weeks anyways. And then for all of you that have just now started watching or even maybe catching this for the first time, even thank you for watching this one here. So, man, it's again, I can't say thank you guys enough to everybody that watches and spends time commenting and those type of things. So, exciting week for us for the channel, and just hitting that mark in under 5 months has just been something we didn't plan on. We were thinking maybe a year, which is what happens with a lot of people. It takes that long. So just super blessed and super fortunate to go ahead and get to that stage so we can start, maybe making a little bit of money to put into the channel and, do some cooler stuff and not do everything out of scrap wood all the time. Maybe we'll get we'll get to that point where, and nothing wrong with scrap wood. I love making scrap wood projects, but occasionally you want to buy a nice piece of wood, and of course that costs money. So, anyways, there's a lot of ways to talk about that, but just all I can say is thank you and for helping us get to that point or to this point so quickly. One thing I do want to mention, I mentioned on the post, but if you haven't seen that, is the main way, or one of the main ways that you become monetized is they start putting ads on the videos, or more ads than what they did before, and you get paid basically a small percentage of as the ads play through, and people let the ads go through and don't skip them or cut them off or whatever. That's basically how we're monetized through the videos. So um, I don't like watching all the ads either, but hey, you guys, it's a great way to support the channel if you just let the ads play through when they come up, and maybe that's when you run and refill your coffee. And so these videos here, I don't know how we're going to do the ads on these Coffee with Chris videos yet. I know the video that came out Thursday had, I think, 4 ads on it. When I watched it back through, I was curious as how they were going to do that. We do have a little leeway in setting the ads and suggesting the placement of the ads, but ultimately YouTube puts them where they see fit. They try to put them at natural break points and things like that in the videos, and so that's something we're figuring out. And so, as I said in the post, if you guys will bear with me as you watch the videos over the next many weeks, as I try to, it's going to be trial and error with the settings and figuring out the best way that I can set things along with how they automatically do things, and what of that is the best combination for the videos that we have on the channel and for the channel itself. So again, bear with me while we're figuring that out over the next few weeks. If you flip on a video and there's more ads than you think should be on there, or the subject matter of the ads is, you're like, what? Those are all things that we're going to try to weed through over the next, month maybe. It may take, just because, as I said, we make videos, change settings, and then see how things go. So we're going to try to get all that weeded through in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and have it to where it best fits the videos and the viewership and all that. So just bear with us, but thank you again for your support and helping the channel get to this point so quickly, man. It's really encouraging. That's the best way maybe I can say it. So I just want to do a short video this week, though. It's been a few weeks since we've really had the Q&A type format, as we've done a few other talks these last few weeks. So I want to kind of take this week to get us started back on that track, and it's where I can get some comments coming in, and we can address those, and I always think that's fun. So what I really want to get started for next week is the topic of marketing. And the reason being is, as I said before, I'm going to kind of run these episodes, these Coffee with Chris episodes, off of comments that I get from the regular videos and from these videos. And, comments that people leave me, questions they may ask me through email or on the comments. And so in the spirit of that, that's what we're going to be talking about for a few minutes here, and then into our video next week. And that's really on the marketing side of things. I've had several people over the last many months leave comments on several of the videos, and even send me an email or two on they'd love to hear some information on marketing. Now, I know we've briefly touched on some of the social media platforms and things like that on previous videos, but I thought we'd really take next week and dig down deep into some tips and tricks for marketing your products or your business or side hustle or whatever it is that looks like for you, and some things we've done that has worked and hasn't worked, and just kind of get, make that next week's video. So that's really what I wanted to hit on, and I'd love for you guys to leave some comments as usual. I'll put the email below me here if you want to email me. If not, feel free to leave them in the comments for this video, but I'd love to get some thoughts from you guys on stuff you've tried and has worked. Is that just like Facebook Marketplace? Have you used your regular Facebook page as a way to put product out there? Other types of local advertising, so on and so forth. So I'd really like to just spend time next week talking about the marketing aspects of your side hustle, your business, and some tips and ideas of how to do that if you haven't gone through those processes yet. And I want to give you kind of a sneak peek into one of the things that we do and that we like to look at, and another way that you can maybe help yourself out, especially during slow period or if things aren't working right. I've got a fly buzzing around me. So here's what I want to show you, and kind of a project too, since we try to do at least one of those every week. But these are some things I'm in the process of working on. They're still in the process, but I grabbed them off my workbench where I came in a while ago. And so this is just a quick thought on an idea for you guys if you're kind of struggling on sales or you're struggling on things to do and products to make. If you've got something that you enjoy doing that you think is neat, and maybe you sold a little bit of it before, you can take those ideas and vary off of them, kind of make different variations and different varieties and see how that does. And especially if you haven't done a lot of different things, and so you feel like your skills are really limited down to one particular type of saw or tool or skill set or anything like that, you can always take something that you're comfortable with and do some variations of it and see how that does for you at a market or a fair or your booth or whatever means that you're selling or working at. So just to give you an example, so as I mentioned before on a couple videos, I'm starting on a line of products for the realtors in my area that I know and work with. And so one of the things I'm offering is going to be cutting boards. And so one of the options that will be in my product line is state of Arkansas, because obviously that's where I'm at. And so this is just a cutting board. This is all walnut, this one here. And so it's one that I've got cut out. Simple process. I have a template and just use that on the router table after you use the bandsaw. And of course I did my glue up on this one. It's not a slab, it's glued up. And then you take it and just cut out your shape using your template and do your sanding, your beveling, your edging, of course I'm going to offer these in customized if they want their client's name or initials, several different designs I can engrave on these things. So but the whole point of that was to say, so I have a product like that, for example, where I've got a cutting board in the shape of the state of Arkansas, but maybe, cutting boards don't sell that well where I'm at. If that's the situation. Now, they do pretty well for us, like I said, especially during the holiday times and stuff, but maybe they don't in the area you're at or that I'm at. And so maybe instead of a cutting board that's walnut that, I've got to charge $50, $60, $70, or whatever it is for, they just don't sell that well. Well, another option may be something like this one. Now you go, Chris, that looks like the same thing, a different color. Well, kinda. But this is actually made out of aspen. And so aspen is kind of similar to pine ish. It's a softer wood, so it's not a wood that I would use for a cutting board. I wouldn't sell that as a cutting board, but it makes a cool sign. And it's a great product. It's pretty lightweight. And so in this one, you didn't even have to glue up. It just comes in the big kind of pre-finished pieces. Now, I got this at Menards when we were up in Missouri a few weeks back. But because I don't believe my local Lowe's and Home Depot here have aspen. So, but it's aspen. And again, wouldn't use it for the cutting board variety, but it makes a great sign. And so I can engrave things on it and have it as a sign option. Hang some hangers, wire, hooks, chain, whatever you want to do, and make it a sign. So it's the same, I already have the template for this, and I already have, a router table and the same tools, but a way less expensive material and serves a different type of product. So that's just kind of an idea, just a quick, like I said, I was coming in from the shop a while ago, and I said, that's going to be a great example. So that's a way that you can vary your product, maybe keep your costs down a little bit, and try a different type of item and see how that does for you. So that's some of the stuff I want to get into is the marketing and how to market your products, how to market your business. And I want to spend the next week or so on that aspect because that's a question I've had come up, especially when we've been talking about, craft fairs, farmers markets, vendor shows. And it goes kind of along with the video that just came out this Thursday around getting prepared for the farmers market. If you haven't watched that yet, grab that. It's got a little length to it, but there's some good information in there. And so I want to kind of stay on that theme for this next Coffee with Chris episode. Also, don't forget, send in your pictures, your videos of your projects or builds, guys. I'm going to keep begging and keep begging and keep begging until somebody sends something in. So here's my email again. Send it to me. Give me a description of it. I'd love to share whatever you're doing with our audience and that sort of thing. So I guess that's all I've got this week. I told you it's short and it's quick. And maybe it was only 1 cup of coffee instead of 2 this Saturday morning. But next week, we'll get back on the comments and talking about the topic of marketing your business, marketing your products, and ways that you can do that efficiently, effectively, and, maybe not break the budget doing it. So leave your comments for me, guys. I'd love to hear how you've done it, and we will see you next week. Take care.